funny because I didn't think about that until now, and like I really like I just got like 6 ideas, like ooh.
Just from that?
Yeah.
Dude.
I love that.
Let's go, dude. I'm getting points on an Afrojack, dude. We just collabed.
I love it.
Just kidding.
I have
The American way of producing,
I know,
ladies
right?
and gentlemen.
That's right.
coming
That's
out.
American. What's up, everybody? My name's Danny Ferrari.
My name's Parker Immense.
And you are watching the XLNT Show right now. We are super excited to have a very, very special guest. A guest that has too many accolades to mention. Somebody that has definitely been a huge influence in my life and I know in Parker's life.
Definitely.
We will talk more about that to let you know how much we love you and how much you influenced our careers. But we are here with Nick Afrojack. Thank you so much for coming, my man.
Thank you.
DJ Mag, Top 100 several times. Collaborations with Madonna, Pitbull, Neo,
Lil Wayne.
Lil Wayne. I mean, huge legend in the EDM community. Insane producer. Thank you so much for coming, bro. This is a huge honor for us. We are so excited to have you here, dude.
Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure.
And it's cool because we've been DMing a little bit back and forth, and like we would always thought, like, I had no idea that you were like stoked to come on the podcast, but we were like, oh, wouldn't that be sick? But like had no idea that you would even be interested in it, to be honest with you.
Well, I've been watching your YouTube for a long time, so.
Which is amazing.
And we just figured out this is actually my first podcast
Yes,
ever.
we got the first podcast ever.
So epic, dude.
That's pretty
Another
amazing.
accolade.
Another accolade. Yes, the very, very first
No, I'm
podcast.
very happy about it, and I'm happy it's with you.
Yeah,
Yes.
man.
I'm
That's
happy
so
it's
epic.
with you.
Great, man. We're super stoked to have you here. I think one of the definitely things we're going to talk about, you are a fellow nerd in production, which I'm super excited to get into that with you. Talk about
a lot of people don't know that actually.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's been so much time that like people just think like, oh no, yeah, he must have 3 ghost producers,
Oh no,
Wow.
I never
pre-recorded
ever.
mixes. Blah.
See,
Yeah,
that's
we
funny.
never-
I read
never
I
thought
read
that.
Reddit.
You read Reddit?
Yeah, I read Reddit.
Yeah, I think a lot of people maybe don't have an actual understanding of as far as if that's the case as far as how long you've been around for. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I don't mean that because I'm actually older than you, which I just found
Really?
out. Yeah,
How
yeah,
old are
I'm
you?
older than you. I'm 39.
Oh,
I'm old as
wow.
fuck. Yeah. So
You
like,
don't look 39.
Thank you, I
Does he
appreciate
look
it.
30? Actually, I don't know. Maybe
Fritz?
I'm just getting older and like thinking that people my age don't look as old anymore.
but like guys like like you and like Nicky Romero and Steve Aoki. I mean, you guys were like
Yeah.
You guys were, and I got to ask you about this because you guys were there when I feel like the wave. And maybe it was different for you because you've been making music for a long time, but the wave of electronic music came into the United States in just such a bang out way in like the maybe like the mid 2010s, and of course like 2011, 2012, and you were right at the very, very forefront of that wave with a couple other guys. And you're Dutch, right? So like did you have any idea like how big that was going to be at that time for you? Like, because you were already involved in just electronic music anyway. Just
When all that started happening, I was lucky to be in it at that time, because the time I started getting into it, there was no superstar DJ thing. There was no big festivals. There was Ultra Miami,
right.
and Pasquale from Insomniac was already doing parties, but they were like small underground parties.
Mm-hmm.
Like he didn't do EDC in LA Coliseum, I think, until 2010. So
Oh, really? I
back
didn't
when
know
I
that.
started DJing,
Mm-hmm.
there was no big festivals. Like
Mm.
I never heard of private jet, in even business class. Like my only thing was, I loved music, and then like I just noticed how, and this is the thing. It's funny. It still goes today. I notice how outside when you go on the street, everyone's divided.
Right.
Politically divided, emotionally divided, religiously divided. Everyone's divided.
Right.
And then they go in the club, the house music,
Mm-hmm.
and that all disappears. The only
True.
thing that matters is like, whoa, did you hear that song? Oh my God, bass bass.
Right. Yeah.
That's it. And then like I did that like 3 nights or something, 2 weeks, 3 weeks in a row.
Mm-hmm.
And I walked back outside, and I was like looking at all these divided people. I was like, okay, I don't know how life works, but I got to be in there.
Right.
You know, I don't
Yeah.
know what's all this, but I got to be in there. And then like I just focused on making that part of my life, making nightlife part of my life.
Oh,
I wasn't drinking, I wasn't doing drugs. I was just like the way music brings people together and the intricacy, what's the word?
Intricacies.
Intricacies of dance music.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because it's like productionally super interesting. It's
Yeah.
almost like classical music going
Yeah.
in many different ways to different things. I was like, okay, this is like, I want to do this.
Interesting.
I'll figure out how. And the funny thing is, I was already making music. Like I started making music 25 years ago when I was 11, just for
Wow.
fun.
Wow.
Like, it didn't have anything to do with dance music. No, I started with music on PlayStation. It was like a video game.
Really?
No way.
Then,
That's so cool.
Then Magic's Music Maker, which was
Wow.
like,
Never heard of that.
no, it was, well, it's talking about 25 years ago.
Yeah.
And then I got into FL, I think when I was 13. There was
Wow.
like before version 3, which like basically was still like Fast Tracker. Like
Wow.
very, very old shit. And then I started going out when I was 14, 15. And then I was like, okay, I need to be a DJ. But there was no festivals. It was just
Right.
like I need to live among people where people can be not divided and actually like just enjoy each other's company
Yeah.
because they share the same passion.
So what was the biggest influence on like your sound when you
Yeah.
first started? Because you started going out, and then did the club music kind of happen when you were going out, or was it before?
No, so what happened is like said, okay, I want to DJ. So I said like, let me DJ.
Yeah.
I figured out how to DJ. It was like, let me DJ. And then all the people were like, no, why should we let you DJ? So it's like, well, I can, yeah, but you need to sell tickets.
Yeah.
You know, like they're
Right.
promoters, they're running a club, they want to sell tickets and drinks. So I'm like, okay, so how do I do that? It's like, well, if you make music, people will buy tickets to come see you.
Right.
It's like, oh, but I do make
Ah.
music. Here, listen to my music. And I play it. It's like, yeah, this music sucks.
It's
like,
trash.
okay. My first message I got when I really wanted to become a serious part of nightlife was make music that people enjoy so you can DJ. That was
Right.
my first, how you say, this is your assignment. Make music people
Ah.
like so you can DJ.
Right.
So that's how everything started for me. And this is the whole reason why I also started coaching artists later and stuff. No one gets that message. Everyone gets the message. Follow your heart and life will be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, see how that works out, bro.
Yeah. Right.
It's like, that's not true. It's partially true.
Right.
Like if you need artistic integrity. Of course, subconsciously you will make certain decisions where you're making music. But no one says like, yo, you need to actually think about what you're going to produce if you're pursuing a certain type of success. In my case, being allowed to DJ in nightclubs around Rotterdam. And that was my only goal back then.
Right.
That's so wild to think, because nowadays people just DJ other people's music and they find a path in that, and then maybe they produce. You know, that's like another way. So
Yeah, well, I always thought like it was interesting to see people get away with just playing other people's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
DJs are the best, man. Like, yo, check this out. It's someone else's song.
Right.
it's so funny, man.
Here's another one by Swedish House Mafia.
Right. And one interesting thing that I kind of read and heard too that I picked up from you was that you really try to produce your music for the live setting, but from the sense of performing live. Obviously, like people think about like, is this gonna go off live?
Yeah.
But also like having the thought process of also, what would I do live? And then also adding that to my song itself. Have you? Did I get wrong information from that, or is that true?
No, so there's two things. There's two sides to that. There's the first side of like the experience, the experience feeling. So when you're making music and you put your headphones to the maximum and you want to recreate that feeling you had when you were at a festival watching
Right.
your favorite act. That's part one. Then part two of it, and this is a thing a lot of people don't realize, and it's like a production trick I teach all the producers I'm working with. Like your experience, you know the little message like in the mirror, like objects in the mirror might be closer than they appear.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with your experience. When you go to a festival and there's 10,000 people and there's a gigantic sound system and the beat goes up and then it drops and it was like, "Wah."
Yeah.
And you go home and you put your headphones super loud, you can't hear shit of what you're doing, and you go, "Bah." And then you send it to your friends, and what they hear is
Right.
because you didn't actually, you didn't actually pay attention to whatever was being played at that time, how the MP3 actually sounds or the wave.
Right.
You just listening to your memory.
Of the moment of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had this when I just started making music. I would come home from the club, tinnitus like crazy, you know, wide awake, 6 a.m. Like, oh my God, tonight was crazy. High on, what do you call it? Like
Adrenaline.
Yeah.
And you start producing. And then next day you wake up and you're like,
Just
like,
Still.
okay, yeah, no, that's not how it sounded. But because you are, not paying attention and you're high on the experience,
yeah.
you are not actually producing what was in the production. You're producing what your experience was. And this doesn't translate, you know?
Right.
So you have to acquire the skills to be able to make the sound the way it sounded before it went through the speakers.
Yeah.
This is a thing a lot of people, like a lot of producers don't understand. They go out to a festival, they experience it, and they think the experience should sound the same way in their headphones. But
Right.
it's not. So like the number one thing I keep telling producers is lower your volume when you're producing. Don't produce at 100 decibels. Produce at 70, 80.
Right.
And then listen to a reference. Like, you love that new Mouthpiece song? Okay, play it, listen to your song. Play it, listen to your song.
Where did you learn how to produce then? You get FL? Did you get it in the cereal box? Because wasn't it in an actual cereal box?
Yeah,
at
it was.
one
It
point?
used to be in a cereal box.
Right.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Was
Now,
it?
first I downloaded illegally.
Okay, so first you downloaded it, and then you got this. So you knew a little bit about music software, but how did you teach yourself how to produce? Did you have a mentor? Did somebody show you along the way? Like, how did that whole process
No, so
start?
I was on a Laid Back Luke forum. Laid Back Luke.
Oh
back
yeah,
then
Layback
had a-
Luke. Yeah,
He had
of
like
course.
his own Reddit place for upcoming producers. Avicii was
Wow.
on there. I was on there.
Oh wow.
Steve Angello dropped by. Like, it was like a little place, and we created the same place now with the Academy in Discord.
Nice.
And the thing, what I learned there was like community. I had people to send my music to get feedback, to learn how to deal with feedback, to hear other producers that had a fatter mix than me,
Right.
but it wasn't as fat as professional yet. So you saw different levels, which
Right.
allowed you to, get better.
yeah.
People sharing tricks. Some tricks worked, some tricks didn't work. But at the end of the day, like, what I really noticed that made me, like
Improve?
professional sounding, like improve, was remaking stuff.
Yes.
I would hear a Steve Angello record. I was like, oh my God, this is so fat. How
Right.
did he do it? My song does not sound this fat. And then I started, instead of trying to make a song like him, I would try to remake the song exactly. And then I heard, oh my God, his square, because back then it's like we didn't have Nexus or Serum. We just
Yeah.
Get silence.
we had a sign, we had
Yeah.
a square, or we had a saw.
Right. Yeah.
And then it's like, oh wait, there's white noise on it.
Right.
Wow. And wait a minute, if I throw the saw and the white noise through compressor, and I crank the compressor, the saw shape takes out parts of the white noise, which gets you sort of effect. And I was like, oh my God, that's crazy. Now I know how to do that sound. And then I was like, okay, wait, how did he do his kick? Oh my God, his kick has no low end. His low end is all in the bass. Back then, there were records like that.
Right.
All these tiny things that you would never hear if you're just going like la 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 la.
Right.
So doing this really made me, more able technically, just by remaking stuff. So this is also what I keep telling people is like, you wanna be a tech house producer, okay? Learn how to make tech house by actually learning how to make those records the way they made them.
Yes.
When you listen to a lot of Skrillex stuff, like, it's super tight.
Right.
I was recently, we played Ultra South Africa, and he let me ride the jet with him,
Nice.
and he let me
Sick.
play him some music,
Sick.
and he edited some music for me, like,
No
live in
way.
there.
Yo.
And like, I'm pretty in depth. Like,
Yeah.
we're uploading some of my project files for the Academy. Yeah, I'll give you some.
Yes, please.
And I'm very, punctual when it comes to projects. Like,
Right.
every white noise sweep should be exactly stopping on the kick. If it leaks over, your kick is going to have less impact.
Yes.
So I'm very much on these type of details. Bro, Skrillex is like times 10.
Really?
It's like he renders every sound and cuts it and then renders it again and cuts it. Like it's like cha 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 cha.
There's no clicks or pops anywhere.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, your kick is good, but it needs some transient. And he opens this folder with like 30 top kicks of less than a millisecond. I'm like, bro,
Wow.
you for real right now? It's like, yeah, listen. Boop, 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 back, back, back. I'm like,
The attention to
Really?
detail.
Wow.
bro, like a frame of sound.
Yeah.
I'm still like, when I think about it, like, yo, there's levels to this shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, man.
And I'm pretty serious about my stuff,
Sure.
but there's like 10 more levels of serious. It's insane.
Can
So that really inspired me a lot to, how you say, try and make it better.
Mhm.
And I think this is also the thing that a lot of young producers need to know and need to see. It's like, yeah, how did he get his bass so fat? Literally by making the bass fat step by step.
Right.
EQ, render, EQ again, render, EQ, compress, render, EQ, EQ,
Right.
render, EQ, sidechain, manually automate the volume of your sample if the sidechain isn't hitting it right, etc., etc., etc. But this is the thing, like the sound of professional sounding music, it's literally so much rendering. It's not magic.
Right.
It's not like, oh, that guy is accidentally great. No, it's like these people, Skrillex, for example, he's like a Swiss Army knife,
Right.
and he uses it like until the finest detail.
Right.
And that's why it sounds like that.
Yeah, I think it's interesting to hear you say too, just like the attention to detail, because when you talk about plugins in general, there's latency. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? It's not these things aren't perfect. So using Shaperbox, although it does a good job, it might just miss one of those kicks. It might just be a millisecond of just a tiny bit versus rendering it down to audio and printing it. Then you can see specifically if you're missing any points. And to know that you do that yourself is super inspiring to me as a producer. And then also the fact that Skrillex does it even 10 times gnarlier
Yeah,
than
no,
you do.
when I saw Skrillex do it, I was like, oh my God, this is like, I rendered some stuff, but like,
Right.
this was like everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah, we started getting paranoid about some plugins to where do we want to bounce it with the plugin on, or do we want to render it first and then do the bounce?
Let me tell you this. This is actually interesting. Nexus, you know, right?
Yeah.
So I'm a big advocate for Nexus. It's expensive as hell,
Mm-hmm.
but if you want quick inspiration, bam, Nexus, load up random sound, la 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 la.
Great.
Amazing. If you're gonna make a finished product, you can throw Nexus out of the window because all these sounds have so much added white noise and reverb and phasing and
Oh, yeah.
all this type of stuff to make it sound fat, like on a demo.
Yes.
But if you're gonna try to start mixing it, you're like, there's stuff going on here and I cannot control it.
It's already mastered for the most part. Some of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. So this makes the rest of your record sound like crap. So what I do usually now when I start creative, like quick Nexus, bam, 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 okay, cool. And then when I actually want to make the record big, serum,
Right.
silent, details, turn off the processing FX in serum and recreate the chain on the mixer manually.
Oh, that's
So
so
I said
interesting.
Very smart.
I was just gonna say, like, you know, when me and Danny started to produce and listen to electronic dance music, you were one of the first ones, and the quality of music that you were putting out at that time was like so far ahead of its time.
Thank
You
you.
know, like we barely knew Ableton. I think you were on Logic.
I was in Logic.
I
yeah.
was in Pro Tools, and like,
Yeah, you
what was
were
I
way
doing? I
off.
was like trying to figure it out in Pro Tools, and you know, like, what were some tools back then that you were using? Like, were you using Vengeance samples?
Yeah,
were
always.
you using Camel
I still
Crusher?
use Vengeance samples.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I started reusing it since all the sounds that you make are so crisp and perfect.
Thank you.
And the Vengeance samples are all like messed up and cut from. Actually, I don't know how they got away with it because they're all
Yeah.
samples from existing
Dude, for
records.
real, yeah.
But whatever. So, yeah, I use it now all the time to offset the crispness that's going on in the in the music industry. Basically,
Yeah.
everything is super sharp, and I like it to be more live. And especially when you're playing like a room, I think that all those extra white noises that are built into the samples make it more fun.
Yeah, it's a little character.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely went back when we were doing the first Skrilla pack or whatever. When we first did that, one of the things that we did was, all right, so we want to learn how to make Skrillex style sounds that are modern. How do we do that? Well, we have to go to the past. We have to go, what was he using back then, right? And the information that we knew was that he was using Vengeance and he was using Massive, right?
Yeah.
But yet there's a lot of really good stuff in these Vengeance packs that people just don't use anymore. Because remember, at one point, everyone found out about Vengeance, so everybody's using Vengeance. So it almost became like, well, okay, well, now we got to go use different stuff. But I think it's actually really great to go back to that sort of route and get that sort of character. You're right. There's like there's a live element feel to it in a sense.
Well, I think right now, if you look at what there's also a very important thing for young producers. Like I look at, call it the market from like if you look at it from a corporate perspective, if you look at it from a nice artistic perspective, the scene. People like organic right now. People like organic sounds. So you cannot make organic sounds unless you record them with your phone and then send it back to you. So you can do that or just use Vengeance samples or find old samples, whatever. But like one of the things that I started doing, instead of using synths, I started using samples again. So you do sample-based stuff. And the nice thing about samples, if when you pitch it down, like it resamples. So all the white noise in a sample goes down with it. So instead of going like you go to and that's like it's fun.
Yeah.
Especially when you start portamentoing and sliding it like you get like the effect with it.
Yeah.
That makes
and
sense.
I think this is also what you hear in a lot of Fred Against productions, that a lot of the stuff is sample based, which just gives it a very different feel. And it's funny, I worked with Swiss Beats a bunch, and he does a lot of things on the MPC. And the one thing I always notice, like for some reason, when it comes out of MPC, it sounds more live.
Yeah.
But this is all talking about room noise, white noise, overlaying each other, sometimes getting sidechained because of the output, you know? So you can imagine you have a kick, they go, and then the next kick comes in. But because there's a built-in limiter, that kick sidechains on the noise of the previous kick.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
very, very interesting to get an organic feel.
Yeah, and I think that is kind of trending right now. You're right, sample-based music. Like Fred again, he has a song where it's 3 loops on top of each other. He has a melodic loop, a bass loop, and like a
You're
garage.
not talking about 10, are you?
Huh?
You're not talking about 10.
10?
Yeah.
It might be that one.
No,
it might be
like based of like 3 splice samples.
Yes,
Oh, yeah,
exactly.
no, that
It's like a Capsun audio.
That was but that was, to me, that was disappointing when I found out.
Oh,
Like,
really?
oh my God, that's 4 splice sample loops based on top of each other. Like, oh my God.
Yeah. But so there was that one, but then also the Sabrina Carpenter song "Espresso."
Yeah,
that
I heard. Is that the same guy? Oliver or something?
Oliver
Yeah.
samples. Yeah, but he did play bass. The producer played bass.
No,
on
but
that.
so for me, and like this is the reason, like one of the reasons why I wanted to start the academy is like, you choose if you're an artist or a producer, not someone else. So like in my, like I'm very happy you guys make samples, but for me, if you're, how you say, if you're producing samples and then this happens, you're kind of like, well, if I had the publishing on that song, or he was the producer because he made the beat, like this is a big difference, by the way, between America and Europe. In America, you have beat makers and producers.
Right.
In
Yes.
Europe, you only have producers. You make a beat, you're a producer.
Interesting.
Yeah. So in my case, when I saw that, I'm like, wait, so a guy took the beat that you produced because you're a producer,
Yeah.
and then he looped it and played bass on it, and now it's his publishing. It's his intellectual copyright. I'm like, yo, like with all due respect to the guy, like no disrespect, he used samples and the guy made it a sample.
Yeah.
But you made a composition.
Right.
The composition is the talent. The people appreciate the melody and the composition. They don't appreciate the guy that put 4 samples on top of each other.
True.
Like if you figure, like for me, that's why I said I love Fred again,
Right.
and he's super talented.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when I figured out that that was a sample, I was like,
So is that what happened with the Lil Wayne song? Did you how did that
Which
come
one?
about? The Look at Me Now.
no. I made the beat.
So did they assign that to you and you made the
No,
melody?
I
and the
made
beat?
the beat,
Yeah.
and then I sent it to Diplo,
Uh-huh.
and then Diplo did the production according to the American term of going in the studio, playing the beat, working with them.
So that was the American way of doing it.
Yes.
Okay.
And I was very disappointed when the song came out when I saw Diplo in the video and I didn't like get a note or anything.
Oh
It's
my
like,
gosh.
yeah, but it was also a good lesson to me. Like I talk about Diplo a lot with my friends, and musically, he's on the forefront.
Yeah.
Sure.
But also, like on the business side, he does what he needs to do. So respect for him on that one side. Like I got a lot of success because of him. He supported my music in the beginning.
Right.
He started playing my Moomba remix that no one knew in America.
Yeah.
Pandy Floor, he later finished with Switch. Dave Taylor is one of my big inspirations. Shout out Switch, Solid Groove.
Yeah.
And like that got sampled by Beyonce for
Right.
Girls Run the World. So it's very like it was very cool for me. I was watching Oprah, and then Beyonce closed the last episode of Oprah performing Girls Run the World with a big production.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's so
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bittersweet. It's
Sure.
amazing that on one side, like my song got so far,
Mm-hmm.
and on the other side, like I was always like, it's sad that I didn't get credited for it.
Yeah.
But I like you cannot be focused on that. You need to put the respect and the focus on the happiness it gave you and the opportunity that it brought you.
Yeah.
Because if I did not know about the American part of production, which is going into studio with people
Right.
and producing a song, recording people, telling them what to do, telling them where you want them to come in, blah, 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 the song would have never happened.
Right.
So it's like the same thing with David Guetta Titanium. Like I
Yeah.
co-produced that. I didn't produce that. Like I co-produced that. I did the beat together with David and Giorgio,
Yeah.
and I did the final mix down. David did most of the arrangement, and David did the American part of the production.
It's so interesting that that is the European perspective on placements as opposed to America, because here it's kind of like a war zone for placements.
Oh my God!
You know what I'm
yes,
saying?
I know. I heard people like they're like, yeah, I'm trying to get on my deal, man. Like,
Yeah.
want a publishing contract?
Yeah.
Got a share? 10%?
Yeah, dude.
Oh my God!
You're
Like
sending folders of like 80 song or 80 beats, and it's a real war zone. And it's kind of refreshing to hear that in Europe it's a little like more respectful as far as like the producer side. You
yeah,
know?
no, like you guys are heavy duty. Also, like, of course, we're in Hollywood, so
Yeah.
it's like
Mhm.
it's the most serious place on earth.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's heavy. And like I've been in studio in Hollywood with people that like they were like hanging on their publishing contract.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Terrible. And like in Europe, it's just you get your publishing contract and you get your percentage that you have to live up to. But like I release a song I produced 100%, I own it on my
Right.
own label. You're out of your deal, basically.
Yeah.
You need, if you want to make it in the music industry as a producer slash DJ slash artist,
Yeah.
you need to be able to sell yourself. And when I say sell yourself, I mean you need to be able to speak up,
Mhm.
open your mouth, talk to people, get your business in order. And this is like one of the most important things that a lot of people don't want to do. They don't want to get their things in order. It's just, I just want to make music and make a nice composition,
Yeah.
and then friends will find me. No, they will not. 100,000 songs get uploaded to Spotify every day,
Yeah.
out of which maybe 50,000 are probably better than yours.
Yeah.
You're not the world's greatest composer, and even if you are, there's only 12 notes.
Yeah.
Like, what are you gonna do?
Damn.
And someone probably already did it.
True.
So the point I'm trying to make is for like, if you really want to make it in the music industry, even if you want to make it as an engineer, as a sample maker, as a how you say, a session musician, like that you just go and play piano and get $500. If you don't tell the guy that you're the greatest pianist in the world, he's not gonna hire you. You
Right.
need
Yeah.
to go and tell people like, hi, I'm me. I would like to do this.
Sell yourself.
You have to do it. Just music is not enough for people, for consumers.
Yeah.
Like, how many artists you know that are only music? Only music. They don't represent anything. They don't do any social media. They don't do any interviews. They don't do any promo, and they don't do anything live.
Yeah, it's like classical music composers, but they're probably on social media
they-
too.
and they
and
do
I'm
it
just
like-
not.
You
It's
know-
not on my FYP.
And this is the thing. Right now, everyone's like, yeah, just follow your heart and it'll work out. No, it will not. It will not. Yeah, I'm just going to follow my heart. I only love tech house and tech house, so I'm going to tech house. Okay, it's like there is 1 million other DJs that are tech housing.
Yeah,
And like the competition, like the only way you're going to get respected is if your music is as good as a Maupi or John Summit.
Yeah.
It's like no one's going to listen to your song and it's like, wow, it's not as good as John Summit, but
Right.
it's really nice. And you're not so good, so I respect it more because you're not so good yet. It's like, no, they listen to a song, they say yes or no.
yeah.
You're
so
already
your
too
song
late.
needs to be on that level,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and I think also like when you're pursuing these other genres, that could be your new thing, and that you're still discovering
Yeah,
yourself.
maybe
Yeah.
you didn't even know.
Yeah,
And this is the thing. A lot of young artists, they're very afraid. They're like, yeah, but I can't just do something else because
Right.
then maybe people think I'm just trying to hop the train of success or this. People, people listen to music very simply.
Right.
Great crap.
Right.
Great crap. If you make great music, it will be fine. If you make crap music, it will not be fine, no matter what your background story is. And I think this needs to be, it needs to be emphasized more in the scene. I want to emphasize it more in the scene. There's another thing, like people say, like, yeah, we should focus more on this, or the scene should focus more on this. Bro, the scene's not a person. You
Right.
can't tell him what to do. It's like
Mhm.
you can try to help, but it's not like you can say how the industry should work,
Yeah.
you know?
I think so too.
I just want to make music and like stop focusing on like, oh, I need to do this or that, or I need to make sure that it's like really what matters is like building up a fan base of stuff that like what I do. Like at the end of the day, as much as it would be awesome for you to play one of my tracks live
Yeah.
or whatever that might be, really what really matters is that I build my own fan base off of stuff that I genuinely like creating. And like usually when you do that, when you do stuff that you genuinely like, usually there's like a law in the universe that it's going to work out for you.
Yeah.
So if I'm sitting here being like, well, drum and bass, I maybe I should do drum and bass because that's really what's popping right now, but I don't like drum and bass that
Do
much.
it your way.
Yeah.
Do it your way. Like, what would you, how would you like it?
Right.
So that's what I try to do for me. I'm doing Palladium tomorrow, sold out.
Yeah.
3,700 people. Yes.
Let's go.
Very proud of it.
Fuck yeah, you should be.
But the thing I'm most happy about is that I can play the music that I like
Mm-hmm.
and we can enjoy it together. It would have sucked if I would have had to play music that I didn't like
Right.
in order to, make the crowd go crazy. It's beyond genres, and I think it's not even genre-wise. I think it's sound-wise.
Right.
When I heard Dimension, DJ Turn It Up, it was funny. I started playing this last summer. Like he did
Really?
the song DJ Turn It Up. I was like, oh my God, this is like eclectic, like hip hop with drum and bass, super fire. And I played it
Yeah.
at my shows last year. Well, the people were not ready yet for
were-
drum and bass
yeah.
last year. Like I literally got comments, yeah, what was the drum and bass you were playing in the middle? And I'm in drum bass.
Yeah.
The DJ Turn It Up. It's so fat, you know? And it's the sound.
Yeah.
It's literally the sound, the thickness of the sound that Dimension has in his productions
Yeah.
made me go like, oh, because they're similar type of songs, but they don't have the same mix down. It's like,
Right.
Same thing with Badadan from Chess Status.
Yes.
It's like there's a certain mix that makes you go like, oh.
yeah.
I checked out Chess Status. I think it was Boiler Room set. Oh my God.
So good.
Because the sound just hits.
Yeah.
But I also have other big drum and bass artists that like I'm not gonna name them, of course, but I listen to theirs and it's like, yeah,
Right.
it's not for me, you know?
We got a drum and bass pack for you that we just pretty much finished out. It's
Oof.
not out yet. We'll give you the
Oh, I'm very
got all
excited.
the presets done. We got all the loops done.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll hook you up with it.
Oh,
today.
that's
I'd love to get your opinion
Royalty
on it.
free, of course.
Royalty free.
Yeah.
Royalty free?
Yeah.
Is his
that-
mic working already?
Yeah. Did you get that on
Yeah,
film?
I'm back.
Hey guys, just want to take a quick break from the pod and let you guys know about a brand new drum and bass starter kit that we have released for you guys, totally free. The link is in the description down below. We are going to be putting out a brand new drum and bass sample pack in the next coming weeks. So if you guys want to get more info on that and get this free drum and bass pack, click the link down below. Let's get back into the pod. I had a question for you too, just on talking about this whole subject. You brought up something about social media, which I think is really interesting. Is nowadays is that you're getting a lot of labels that essentially won't even listen to you unless you have some type of social media following.
Yes.
So how do you feel about that, and where do you see that going for the future for producers?
So we're all fucked. No, so
Nice.
the thing is, I just had a call last week with a very big A&R. Like we do a lot of artist development, so we sign young artists, and basically I always say we cover the gray area. So we
Right.
don't do management, we don't do label, we're with you every
Mhm.
step of the way. Step of the way one is like, okay, finding labels that are interested in your music. And I had a hour-long call with an A&R, like the A&R of one of the biggest dance labels, if maybe second biggest dance label in the world. And yeah, basically he literally said, we basically don't take on any artists unless they have a story.
Mm.
A story basically means like you have a social media following and you have your own, you have your own rhythm of pushing to your social media following,
Right.
or has multiple million monthly listeners.
Wow.
Because there's no point.
Right.
So this is literally what he said. Because there is no point. It has nothing to do with the label. The only thing that a label does is benefit monetarily from music
Mhm.
for both parties.
Yeah.
The fact that one of the biggest labels says like, we cannot benefit from music from young producers, means that if you're a young producer, every label thinks the same way, not because that's how they feel. This is the facts.
Business.
So like, I can say like, yeah, I don't agree. It's like, yes, but I don't agree that the sun comes up and goes down. It's like, this is the situation. Yeah, the algorithm doesn't support me. The algorithm is people.
Yeah.
It's true.
I'm shadow banned.
It's
That's
so-
what people
yeah.
say.
So I go back all the way to when I was 15 years old and I was in a record store and like, yeah, I want to DJ. And it's like, okay, make music. This is my music. Yeah, your music, people don't like this music.
Mhm.
Like, wait, so I should make music people like. So you have to think the same way when you think about content. You have to make content that works.
Mhm.
You have to apply successful variables to your creative product.
Yeah.
Like you can complain about this, but instead of complaining about it, use it to your advantage. Figure out what works and apply it to whatever your product is, whatever your type of music is. If you say like, yeah, I want my song to start at the verse and then go to the chorus, that's fine. But if you want people to listen to it on Spotify or on social media, and you see that every song starts with the chorus, start with the chorus, then present your verse and go into the chorus.
Mhm.
Because if you're going to go like, yeah, but I'm going to start with 10 seconds of silence, like, good luck, bro.
Mm.
So
True.
I
It's very
don't
true.
care.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But if you want to be successful or you want to establish yourself as a musician that can live off of his music or live off doing music stuff, you need to apply yourself to the variables that work.
Yeah, I think you said it the best way that anybody has ever said it. You know what I'm saying? There's a set amount of variables, and if you want to be successful, you do those variables in your own way, right?
Yeah.
And then maybe you can kind of go a little bit away from those variables in a comfortable way, right?
No,
After you're established, would you say? Or
Yeah.
No, so what I say, like the way I see it
Yeah.
is, it's like a battle of artistry versus commercialism,
Mm.
or,
Yeah.
or capitalism. And the unfortunate truth is like everyone wants to be a successful artist, but no one wants to make a business plan.
Mhm.
true.
You know, if you really love music, make a plan. If you have trouble communicating or you feel uncomfortable or you get anxiety, make a plan to work on that.
Yeah.
I used to be, or I still am introverted. Not now when I'm here, but because I have to. If I would go sit here with you, like my first podcast, yeah.
Right.
South
Yeah.
Park.
Do you think people are gonna watch? Is there gonna be a viral clip? So how did you make this song?
Right.
You know, you need to be outspoken about what you do.
Yeah.
If I'm in the studio, like these guys are with me all the time. There's two guys over there, Fritz and Jeff.
Shout out Fritz and Jeff.
They know, like, when I'm not doing what I have to do, I'm very introverted. I
Right.
don't like people. I don't want to talk to people. I'm not scared of them, but I'm like, cool, man.
Yeah.
Like, not my thing. But when I have to, I do what I have to. And I also, and like, this is the thing that I really want to teach people as well, that I learned, like, because I was introvert until I was 15. Then I found a book about psychology, and I was like, oh my God, life actually works in a very different way. Like one secret that, not a secret, but like one thing that was found out is like the way children in a school communicate and become friends is by sharing secrets. So I was like,
Interesting.
wait a minute. If I meet you and I tell you something about myself that is slightly beyond our level of relationship, you will respect me for it and maybe share me a secret in return. But most importantly, there will be a relationship built on the fact that I just told you something that goes beyond our relationship.
Trust.
So, yeah. Trust, you build trust by giving trust. You don't get trust. You give trust. I give you information. I give you, how you say, my feelings that could hurt me if you tell someone else, you know?
Right.
I give you my real thought. Like right now, like, and this is the thing, I think how I always got away with being very vocal about the commercial part of making music, because it's the truth.
Yeah.
And it's the truth from my experience. And you know that by me sitting here and saying it, I cut my own artistry in the fingers.
Is that why you're like, we're talking about with what you want to do with your academy? I think we should probably get into that a little bit. What has inspired you to do that? Because it seems like you're very passionate about sharing your. It seems like you're very passionate about just teaching just naturally, and it seems like you want to be able to help people attain some of their goals. So can you tell us a little bit more about that whole process and what your plan is? Are you able to yet or no? Okay, cool.
So
You seem very passionate about sharing all your knowledge because you have so much of it.
it's not necessarily the so much knowledge. It's so much knowledge of mistruths. Like, and this is the thing. Like, I saw masterclasses. We got approached by a masterclass to do a masterclass, and I was like, I watched a lot of masterclasses. I download basically all of them from every field, just because I like hearing people see how they perceive their own success.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it's a story about how they became successful. It's not a masterclass on the craft,
Right.
you know? It's cool, it's entertaining, but it's not going to get you anywhere. So what I always said with my company, with Wall Artist Development, we sign artists in artist development, which means like a 360 deal, very old school model, but we benefit on net. So if you need a manager, we help you negotiate to get the best manager deal. You got a label, we'll help you get the best deal with a label. You get a publishing deal, we'll help you get the best deal with your publishing. Because whatever you pay the publisher gets taken off before we get anything. So that way is like what I learned through my own experience is the only way you can really make an artist feel like they're in the right place. Because I don't benefit from, like, I'll give you an example. The agent says like, yeah, you should do more bookings. Studio time doesn't matter. You should just do more shows.
Right.
That's because agents, no disrespect to agents are amazing people a lot of the times, but they don't make money if you go in the studio.
Yeah. They want they're gonna
They
want you
need
to do what
you to
benefits
go
them.
do shows. So
Right.
if you're having a open heart with your agent one-on-one, and your agent has 2 kids and a wife and a dog and a car and mortgage payments, you're like, I've been really thinking, brother. Like, you're my brother, right? Yeah, you're my brother. Okay. Should I do more shows or should I do more studio time?
Right.
So you can't blame an agent for this, but you can definitely blame the culture of music industry of not educating artists about this. Like, yo, this is the way it works. You can trust your agent, but if you ask your agent, should you do more studio time or shows, they will tell you shows.
Right.
If you ask your label, should you do more shows or studio time, they will tell you studio time because they don't make money of your shows. I think that's one of the most important things. What I really wanted to get through with the academy is like teaching these type of things to people.
Right.
Teaching things about how does your creativity work. teaching why is your song not working? Why is your mix not sounding fat? And not just say like, oh yeah, your kick is too soft. No, like actually getting into is like, why is your kick too loud? Because you're producing on a too high volume. You put your headphones loud. Your kick is gonna punch through. So you're gonna get a sub sidechain effect from your brain. Your brain is gonna sidechain for you. This is why you should not produce on 90 decibels, because your brain will start sidechaining for you. You can Google psychoacoustics.
I like that. That's smart. That makes
neuroacoustics or psychoacoustics. I forgot.
We have a built-in limiter in our head.
Yeah. So these are the type of things that I really wanted to teach people, and that I felt like really made a difference for me. And then even better, there's a lot of academies out there. There's a lot of
tons.
Yeah. Did you watch them?
Did we watch them?
I've watched a lot of masterclasses.
Actually. I've watched a few masterclasses. Yes.
No, but did you watch like the masterclasses from EDM producers?
Yes.
Okay. Did you see the one with the guy introducing himself and then introducing another guy that is going to show his technical skills, and then that guy introducing another guy that never put out a record to show you how to make a beat?
Yes.
No, wait. Who are we talking about?
All of them.
Yeah.
All of them. Wait, you talking about Dead Mouse?
Most of them.
Did
no,
Dead Mouse do that?
Dead Mouse didn't do
Dead
it.
Mouse did a masterclass.
Yeah.
Right.
But that was like, it was a Dead Mouse masterclass on Dead Mouse. It wasn't a Dead Mouse masterclass on how to take your career that's doing okay and build it into something more successful, or taking no career and making it to a career. All these young artists, they need certain information to get from point A to point B. And I've watched these masterclasses. I told my team, buy everything, watch everything. And they don't give that information. They give some good information.
Yes.
They give some nice tips and tricks. But like end of the day, if you need to, like, can I trust my manager? There's no section on that.
Right.
How does my finance work? There's no section on that. How does international withholding tax work? There's no section on that. How do I go out and network? There's no section on that.
Yeah.
Go out and meet people.
Yeah.
This is the thing. If you look at every successful art, well, not every, there's some lucky ones, but if you look at most successful artists, successful entrepreneurs, successful creators, inventors, there's one thing they almost all have in common. They were always at the right place, waiting for the right time. And while they were waiting for the right time, they were reading a book about what to do when the right time comes along.
They were prepared.
Yeah.
Yes. Soccer, Cristiano Ronaldo, Messi.
Yes.
Basketball, LeBron James, Kobe, rest in peace. Like one thing that like everyone thinks, like they were great at basketball, they were great at soccer, yeah. But they were also great at training, 8 hours a day, kicking a ball,
right,
running laps around the soccer field, throwing balls at a hoop until you get dizzy.
Yes.
It has nothing to do with the actual game of basketball, but all this training made it work. Or the game of football, of course. So this is the same thing with making music. Like if you don't do remakes, you're not going to up your skill to a level where you can create the type of music that you want to create.
Absolutely.
If you don't watch your YouTube channel,
thank you,
you will not get your knowledge to where it needs to be of what the standard minimum level of production quality is for you to have your sound pop out. Like production quality is very important. Like most of the stuff that we like is less about composition, it's more about sound.
Yeah.
But yeah, most of the successful EDM producers are not just good composers, they're usually great sound composers.
Yeah.
You look at the success of Mal P, you look at Fred again, look at Dead Mouse in the long run, of course, also.
Yeah, like Mal P's newest
Skrillex
song, it was like he's got like singing on top of a tech house song. You know, like it's really, really cool.
Yeah, but it's mixed properly.
Yes.
Like if he went like on again.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys, I tried to like that's the thing, and it's another thing about how do you sell it. He didn't go like, yeah, I was thinking about following a career as a singer. So it's like very important that you know how to handle this, and it's very important that if you do start singing, that you know how to mix it in a certain way.
Quick break from the pod. I just wanted to share with you that we have an exclusive link in our description containing hundreds of the most accurate remakes in the EDM industry. That's right. I said it. Not only that, we have organized folders containing hundreds of Ableton racks and Serum presets ready to be thrown into your project. This might be too big of a secret to share with your friends, so let's keep it between us girls. You're probably thinking that it's going to cost you hundreds of dollars to get these exclusive sounds, but you'll be pleasantly surprised to see how affordable it actually is. Hope you got a big enough hard drive. Check the link in the description called Producer Vault, and let's get you back into the episode.
Another thing too, I think is really important about just remakes in general that I've sort of taken from is the fact that sound selection, right? So if I take an Afrojack song, say "Rock the House," right, one of my favorite songs by you, right? Incredible, right?
Thank you.
And I study that song and I go through and I want to make music as good as Afrojack, and I listen to it and I go and I find a kick that sounds similar to that kick in that song, or a clap or a snare or a hi-hat, all of those elements. I know that those, even if I don't make it, I could try to make it, but even if I just find something that sounds similar, because most people's ears can tell if something sounds similar.
Yeah.
If I find something that's close, that's a good sample, right? And I have that good sample now that when I add that sample to my song, obviously it doesn't always work in the same, like not every sample is going to work good in each song, but that's a good start. You know what I mean?
You know why it's a good start? The definition of good, of something being a good sample or being a good song, I appreciate that you think Rock the House is a
Love
good
it.
song, but the definition of good is different to different people.
Sure.
So if it's a good sample for you, it will inspire you to do something greater on top of it than just okay. Because you're
Right.
like, oh, this sounds hot.
Right.
You get hot. When you get hot, you're like, oh. If you work with crappy samples that don't inspire you, you're gonna make crappy music because you don't feel it. You don't feel inspired or motivated
Right.
to do better. And this
That's
is
a good point too. There's an inspiration behind
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
besides
So-
the quality.
So one of the things that I started doing now, like I think for the last 5 years, all the music I've been making from a point of life. So I have this song that I want to play, like Shabuzi, what's the name? Get
Whiskey, whatever.
Whiskey,
Yeah.
bar,
Tipsy.
Tipsy.
Jaquan, yeah.
Yeah.
So I like that song, and I play a lot of shows in Vegas. Then I like to play that song in Vegas because people are
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good
amazing.
Vegas song.
Okay, so I was like, I cannot play it like that. I tried to put a drum and bass record behind it, like just a mashup. And I was like, oh yeah, this sounds pretty cool. And I was like, wait a minute, what if I remake the beat or like the arrangement and then like make a melody that sound of sorts like similar. It's actually funny, I can play it to you in a bit. But that got me like inspired to make a drum and bass remix of Shabuzi.
Ah.
So that's like the creative process of like getting inspired.
Right.
And now the thing is FL Studio has stem extraction.
That's right. They just added
Yeah.
that, which is
Bro,
amazing.
so what I do is like I take this record, I extract the beat, and I start producing on top of that beat. So within 10 minutes, the entire remix, not copyright free, but
yeah.
technically the concept is done. If you can get inspired that quickly, it's a lot easier to afterwards start finding the right samples, make it cool, put in additional stuff, make it even more impactful, and of course, completely steer away from the original record that you used as a reference. But that part of the creativity is super important. And this is another thing that I want to, teach young producers. It's like, it's okay if something sounds like something else. Most of the big songs that we all know are inspired or sampled or partially copied from another song. But as a young artist or a young producer, and you don't know that this is okay, like everything you're going to play on the piano that sounds great, it's going to sound like something. So you're like, oh, this is great, but it sounds too much like this. Let me change it. No. Keep it.
Yeah.
And
That makes sense.
even better, if you are not the greatest piano talent or guitar talent, F it. Take
Right.
melodies.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not everyone is as talented as, say, Justin Bieber's talented singer or Dua Lipa's talented singer, or some people are talented composers because they've been making music since they were 5 or their parents were musicians, blah, blah, blah. You have to assume that you didn't get any of these lockouts and you just have to start from zero. Bro, read how copyright law works, use it to your benefit.
Yeah.
Because I don't care about if it's original or not. No one cares if it's original or not. They care if it's good.
Right.
Yeah.
Very true.
They don't care like, oh, he took the melody from this other song. It's like there's 12 keys. How many melodies can you do? It's gonna sound like something else by accident anyway. So if you're a struggling upcoming music producer, play dirty, fight dirty.
Yeah, we definitely do that a lot. I think like starting remakes sometimes can inspire whole new songs just from starting a remake. Just you're practicing.
So say you wanna like, and this is the thing where I said it's so important to practice, like Ronaldo and Kobe, etc., etc. You practice remaking Maupi, what's the song? On Again, whatever.
Yeah.
You remake it. Of course, your beat's not gonna sound exactly the same, and either by lack of understanding, lack of knowledge, or your own creative input, you will definitely make it different. But now say, okay, you have that remake, and you take out his melody, his bass line, you're gonna have a better, probably more active beat than if you would make a beat from scratch with no reference.
Sure.
Again, this is like why I feel bad for young producers that get told, follow your heart. I'm like, bro, yes, but first read this 25 books and know how people consume music, how people understand music, how they experience music. Because if you don't think about it, you're just going to sit down and make music how you feel.
You're the first person to just say that out loud.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
Like,
I know it's not
everybody
good for
says,
my brand. It's
"Follow
not
your
mysterious.
heart, follow
It's not
this, follow
mysterious.
that. But it's like you're authentic to yourself, and it seems like you're very logical, you know? Or at least you try to be as logical as you can when you're following your emotions.
So the thing is, I know how it was when I got started.
Yeah.
And like of course people say like, yeah, you were lucky. I was lucky. But I was lucky when I was 18. I had my first record released, but I was making music since I was 11. I was DJing since I was 14, 15. 14 like in the bar, and then 15 doing drive-ins and trying to play clubs and getting kicked out for playing too much house music. So being lucky when you have a set of knowledge and a set of understanding and experience is going to be a very different way of getting lucky when you just made one song.
Yeah.
This is what you see now sometimes. You see artists, they come and they go. It's because they made one song by accident super early in their career. They don't know how to make the next song.
Right.
You can't blame them, but they got lucky too soon. So it's like, that's why, I don't know, like when I was watching your videos, I was like, yo, it's a matter of time. And I'm not here because I want to be part of the matter of time, but I'm here because you're the only people that I see that are actually doing logical stuff to music, that are actually analyzing. When you did Skrillex album analyzation, I was like, this is exactly how you get better, by understanding what someone did.
Thank you so
You
much.
don't,
it's
you
so
don't
awesome that
get
you're
better
saying
by
that.
just like sitting and listen. I'm just going to listen to this album 10 times and then I'm going to peruse. No,
Yeah.
like pay attention. You think, like when you're talking about sports players, don't you think they watch back?
Yeah, they watched their tape
Oh,
back.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know, every Ultra and Tomorrowland set I ever did, I watched back like 10 times. But
Really?
also all the other DJs. I watched Tiesto 2-3 times. I watched David. I watched Maupi. I love Maupi. I direct messaged him like 3 months ago. I was like, bro, I didn't know you could DJ like that. Like he had like sick records, sick sets. I watched everyone's set, not because I need to know this for my business. First of all, because I like it,
Right.
but also to get inspiration, like feeling it, seeing the people's reaction, like, oh wow, I never thought about this.
Dude, it's all about like watching tape, you know?
Yeah.
We see a lot of people that come into the studio and they're not ready for their session, and you could tell that they didn't practice, or even producers that come in, you could tell that they're not, they might not be fast enough, or you see that they're just not practicing their art, and it hurts me to
Or they
see
don't
that
want to
a
put
lot.
the work in.
Yeah,
the
or they
extra
don't want to
work.
put the work in.
So there's like two parts of that. There's like they don't practice their art, but they also don't practice their skill. And it's like the combination. And what I always tell people, like I built a compound in Antwerp with 7 studios, live room, photo room, like everything.
Yeah.
Like ridiculous. It's actually it's pretty cool. You should check it out.
Yeah.
But there, like I have these producers working all the time, and sometimes they send me something and it's like, it's cool, it's like fun, but like, tell me the story. And when I say tell me the story, I'm like, tell me why you think this will benefit your career. And there's two things you can do when you're in the studio. You can have fun, or you can try to benefit your career.
Right.
Both are important, because if you're only trying to benefit your career, you're going to lose interest. So you also need to have fun. But eventually you're going to have to use the fun and implement it into something that you could use to benefit your career.
Yes.
Like, tell me the story. Like, you did something amazing, creative, super cool, but what are you formatting it to? What are you formatting it to? Like, how are people going to listen to this? What's the idea? And what I always learned is that the idea could already tell you, wow, this will work. Like, I'll give you an idea. Avicii, Chris Lake.
Sick.
Oh yeah.
That would work.
Oh
That
yeah.
would definitely work.
You don't have to think about it. So there's like ideas, concepts that you can already tell they will work.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm wondering is, if you know something can work, why did you just go into a studio and just go, la 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 la, I'm having fun? You might as well PlayStation. I
Yeah.
love PlayStation. I play PlayStation all the time. It's fine. But understand that with your limited time, how serious are you about upping your career to the next level? And that's like, again, coming back to the academy. Like for me, I'm like, okay, you're serious about this stuff? Well, here you go. This is how the world functions.
Yeah.
It's not fun, but this is how it works. So if you spend 8 hours working on your career and 2 hours having fun, you will probably get lucky a lot sooner than if you spend 8 hours having fun and 2 hours working on your career. It's okay.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want. I'm just saying this is how math works.
Right.
If you want to be a successful musician, you need to not just invest time into making music or listening to music. You need to invest time into learning new skills, acquiring new skills, watching your videos to understand. Like, you guys have been doing this for so long. People need to understand everything that you know already, you know?
Yeah.
Because end game, if you want people to respect you like the next John Summit, you need to be at least as good as John Summit,
Right.
if not better.
Yeah.
Do you have any techniques for discipline as far as that? Like, you know, I'm sure, I mean, you learned pretty quick, you were saying, like when you were coming up. I'm sure that you have a very, I don't know if it's very strict, but
Seem
you
very
have,
focused and,
y-
and
yeah.
thought out. And
I had 2 coffees. No, coffee,
That's what it was.
No, coffee gets me disciplined, but it gets
Yeah.
me zoned in. The thing that gets you the most discipline is counter accountability. So, like, you guys are lucky. You're not lucky, but like, you start working together.
Yeah.
But the lucky thing about working together with someone is you create accountability.
sure.
Because if you give him a great opportunity, he's going to feel stupid for not using the great opportunity. Same thing other way around.
Yeah.
So what I do with my team is I empower my team to how you say, to judge me if I make the wrong decision. So if I say like, yo, I just got this opportunity and it would be stupid for me not to take it. And then the next day I think like, I don't want to do it. I just want to be on PlayStation. They're going to shit on me. You know?
Yeah.
Now, what will be better for my show tomorrow? 3,700 people in LA. It's like, yo, that's like pretty... Anyone in LA is influential. Like, if you
Yes.
live in LA, like, you did something right. Because
Yeah.
it's like, I personally think, like, it's a hard life here. So,
It
Yeah.
is.
big respect to everyone who's going to be there tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But how am I serious about my career if I'm going to be there tomorrow after PlayStationing for 12 hours? Or am I going to prepare music for 12 hours?
Right.
I might only make one edit or only one remix, but that might be the thing at that show that makes people go like, okay, I'm definitely coming back next time.
Right.
Or I'm going to tell my friends next time Afrojack got to do LA Coliseum. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Yeah.
know. It can always be better, you know?
Yeah.
And I know, like, I have these guys with me and they know as well. And I'm telling them every day, do better, do better. Doesn't matter how good you are, it matters how much better you do.
For somebody that's had a very successful career. I mean, you've done pop. You've obviously killed it in the EDM world. What I'm curious about is what motivates you now.
So I love touring. I also love helping people, and especially helping people like by not like, oh, let me help you with something very difficult. No, like I love helping people with simplicity. You know, like very tiny things that can make very big differences for other people. Like, for example, like some of the stuff that I just said, like it can just tweak your mind. Like, oh my God, derp. It happened one time on the street. I told the guy, like, we did streams,
Yeah.
like demo listening streams. And I told the guy, like, yo, why you're making this type of music? Like, it's cool, but this like genre, you will never, even if you're big in the genre, you'll still not get any shows because the genre is not that big and doesn't have any live business right now. And then he started making tech house, and then like within 6 months he had like 3 records signed, and now he's DJing all over the place.
Right.
Wow.
Just because I said one thing, and that to me is like, okay, I kind of wanna do that too.
Yeah.
Also, I like with the academy, I hope that by the time we release and people see the effort we put in, like it's highest broadest possible production value. I said like we need to be everything that they are not. Talking about everyone else that build academy or masterclass, and give them all the information that they did not get. I hope that it's going to be so successful that I can do another one and we can do extra things. Did you see the techno tutorial?
You saw.
Was it your techno tutorial
Yeah.
or no? So
Okay, so like I did a 4.5 hour techno tutorial on how to produce techno,
yeah.
and that track ended up being a collaboration with Reinier Zonneveld.
Wow.
So
Nice.
I sent it to him, and he was like, "Oh yeah, that's fire. Let me
Oh,
work on
perfect.
this." And then I told him like, "Yeah, but I used it as a tutorial for the academy." He's like, "No, it's fine." So one of my goals with that is like to get Reinier in the studio, doing a masterclass level interview with him, ask him the questions that matter. Like,
Yes.
how can you play 170 BPM techno when people are all listening to 140 BPM techno and get away with it?
Yeah.
How do you build your set? How do you build up your set? How do you deal with it if you're playing after 9999999 whatever? No, but it's like for me, that's like an interesting thing. So if the academy takes off and people really appreciate it and they
Yeah.
can use it,
Yeah.
then we can use that to put more emphasis on the quality, get more guest speakers, and how you say, just get more honesty and transparency in the music industry, and maybe not even just dance music industry, but the music industry as general. Because like you have to be careful because you can cut yourself up as an artist. I'm in a position where, well, I can still, of course, like I can F myself up pretty heavy by name dropping and saying bad things, but I cannot F up myself by having a transparent conversation with Pasquale Rotella about the intricacies and difficulties of building something as big as EDC Las Vegas and dealing with that.
That'd
And
be a
then
rad.
walking around and meeting the people and all this stuff. Like to me, and like, yo, I want to see that.
Yeah,
I
for
don't,
sure.
It doesn't matter that it's me, but if it's anyone transparent and open, taking someone big like Pasquale Rotella and sitting him down and asking him the questions that we all have as an industry, it's interesting.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. There was multiple. We have like a whole list of people. Like when we did the academy, I said like, I want to tell everyone. I'm going to do interviews with everyone that has a quality channel that is delivering quality content, because I don't just want to show off like we have something great, but I also want to help them deliver better content.
Yeah.
Because I know stuff about the industry that they don't know. A lot of it's funny because a lot of the people that are making tutorials on YouTube are doing it as a side hustle while making their own artist. But they
Yeah.
haven't been successful yet as being an artist. So it's kind of like, well, how can you tell people how to be a successful artist if you know they're successful artists?
True.
Yeah.
So I want to help them with that. I want to answer their questions. In your case, I felt like I learned the most from your videos. I watch your videos and like, it's very spot on. And I could have chosen to go on a channel with 2.3 million subscribers, which we're probably also going to do. It's not going to be a podcast like that. I'm not going to be as open about it.
Yeah.
But I really feel that if you keep just putting yourself out there and providing quality content, quality music, quality information, quality entertainment, you will remain, like you said, at that level. But the moment you go quiet, you've seen big people fall off all the time.
Yeah.
It's like I don't want to name any names, but if you look at the generation of 2000 to 2005 DJs, they're all disappeared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there
Very
were
true.
like legends in there. The legends will never die.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're gone.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. No, you're totally right, man.
Thank you so much for saying that, though. That's really. I was gonna ask
Yeah.
you too, just in a general sense, like, because it might be kind of fun. Like, what advice would you have for us as far as what we're doing in our sort of world? You don't have to share it now. You can tell us later.
Like,
but I would be very curious.
I love your videos, and like your content is so good that I think you're fine on that. The only thing that I would say is like, go next level, like with a camera or something, or like rent a camera and make it like, ooh, that's nice. Believe in your content so much to just try it.
Right.
We just did new visuals. We're gonna show them tomorrow at Palladium, and it's a movie, like literally a movie. We just said, okay, we
Badass.
have the budget for visuals, and he said, what about if we take that budget and we make a movie,
Mm-hmm.
and we use the B-roll also as like part for visuals.
Oh, cool.
Whoa.
Yeah. And now we actually have like a movie. Well, if you will go to a visual company, you just get some random visuals, like no
Right.
story, no nothing.
Yeah.
They're like, go for the movie.
Right.
So I would say the same shit for your own stuff. Like, just try to go next level, see what happens.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for that.
I love that.
Invest
yeah,
in
thank
the
you.
production into the channel as much as we can to try to take it to that next
Well,
level.
not as much as you can. Like,
Well, yeah, within reason.
sometimes, you know,
Yeah.
try something special. Even if it doesn't work out, like, you feel, everyone always feels how you say? Everyone feels that you're trying.
Yeah. The effort.
Even for me, like, the only reason that I'm doing this because I want to show I care. I want to show I'm still trying. Like,
Yeah, it's so inspiring what you just told about us. You know, it's amazing. But also that kind of answers the question you were asking, like, what inspires you now?
Yeah.
And it's like really it's giving back to the producer community and helping advice through the mistrusts, you know?
but this is what I meant. Like, this is, if I never learned when I was a kid that it's okay to share a secret. That's
We all
your
sweat.
screenshot. Is it-
Yeah, that's the thumbnail.
Everybody sweats.
Yeah.
No, but just be honest, and you'll be way better off than pretending.
Absolutely.
And yeah, that's it. And when saying like giving back to the producer community, it's like this one too.
No, that
No.
one's saved in the light.
It's definitely like part giving back, but I also see it as like I'm thinking about like maybe in the future I can make this more my job
Yeah.
than doing shows.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think there's always challenges also for myself looking at WAL as a record label, as an artist development company. Like, how can you grow that?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not like I'm giving away this course for free, you know? It's like,
Yeah.
hopefully it will work out to be something better on that side as well.
Yeah.
But it's partial. You know, like the nicest thing for me is when people in the Discord or when they in my stream and like, thank you for telling me the truth.
Yeah.
That's like the nicest thing for me because I feel so if I see people say, oh, you know, just follow your heart and do what you love. I'm like, yo, you just killed 10,000 people, man. You killed
Right.
10,000 people's dreams because they think that's how you got there.
Right.
Yeah.
They don't realize you got there by thinking you're doing that and at the same time doing 10,000 hours of training.
Thank you for joining us on this week's episode of The Excellent Show. This episode is brought to you by XLNTSound.com. If you're an EDM producer and you need some serious sounds, make sure you guys go to XLNTSound.com. They have everything you need from serum presets, project files, remakes, and even free downloads for you guys. And check out all these different testimonials that all these heavy-hitting EDM producers are saying about XLNTSound.com.
And on top of that, use code The Excellent Show at checkout to save 10% off your next purchase.
Thanks, Excellent Sound.
Let's get back to the episode.
How do you avoid people that are? I mean, I don't know what if it's like at your level, but I've definitely noticed like in the industry, once you start getting to a certain point to where you're starting to build a career and you're around other people, there are people that somewhat drag you down in a sense where they want to utilize what you have or your hard work to sort of hang on and sort of be a part of that so that they can benefit themselves. How do you yourself, have you seen that in your come up, and do you still see that now at your level where you sort of have people that maybe are maybe not as less, I don't know, you could call them yes men, or you could call them people that are essentially using you to sort of to use your career to help them get to where they want, you know? 'Cause
Of course, but this is like normal in life.
Mhm.
You don't have to like have any success for that. You already have it in life. Like, oh, this guy knows a lot about music. I'm gonna stay close to him. Or like people will always use you. And the thing that you have to do, well, you don't have to do it, but the way I did it is
Yeah.
like I trust people.
okay.
I just choose to trust, and I will trust you up to $1, and I will trust you up to $10, and I will trust you with when I'm sleeping at night, and I will trust you with my entire life.
right.
Like for example, like I'm married.
Mhm.
I'm aware of how life works,
Mhm.
but I like my wife so much. Like of course I love her, but like I like and respect her so much that I said, well, I will choose to blindly trust you.
Right.
I will trust you with my life.
Mhm.
Not like I will make a conscious decision about how I will apply myself to the situation. No, I said like, okay, you know what? I like you so much. I give you me.
Yeah.
Right.
Like I know that can backfire tremendously, but I like her so much that I want to give her that trust.
Yeah.
And then I have my Fritz.
Shout out Fritz again.
That's yo. You go from wife to Fritz.
Right.
Whoa. No, but Fritz has been my cameraman for 15 years now. I think 16 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So he filmed me
Right.
a long time, saying a lot of stuff,
Mhm.
bad stuff. And there's like different people in different places in my company, but also outside of me that I trust to a certain point.
Yeah.
I'll give you another fun example. You know, like I'm pretty established, right?
Yeah.
I'm okay.
Yeah, you're
Pretty
doing all right.
established, yeah.
Okay. Well, after I heard I mentioned DJ turned up, like I gotta work with this guy. Like I sent him a message, blah blah blah.
Mhm.
Like yeah, I love your music, but I'd love to do something together. Cool. Yeah, text, WhatsApp, and then he went on the Mothership tour, which is like the big drum bass tour. It's like the first big drum bass tour in America in 25 years maybe.
Mhm.
I know that honesty and truth works better than trying to hide the truth or hide your shame, basically.
Mhm.
He didn't reply me for 1 day. I texted him again. He didn't reply. 3 days later, I didn't reply. 5 days later, I texted him. He didn't reply. 6 days later, I texted him again. He didn't reply. 2 weeks later, bro. Like if you see the WhatsApp history,
Yeah.
and then like
Ghosted.
you know, so like okay, I eat it, whatever.
Mhm.
Text again because I love his music and I want to work
Right.
with him.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna shut up because I'm ashamed that I got ghosted by Dimension.
Yeah.
And like after 4 or 5 weeks, it's like okay, well, figure out because I had a song that I wanted to do with him.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like okay, well, this is other guy I started working with, Belgian jump up drum bass producer Primate, and it's like okay, we'll work on this vocal with him. So whatever, and then I still keep hitting Dimension because I
Yeah.
still want to work with him.
Yeah.
Maybe not this song anymore because
Yeah.
like it's been gone now, but I still text him, not replying. Okay, you know what? F it. Instagram DM. So I go back in a circle. I went from the Instagram to the WhatsApp where we started talking
Yeah.
to being ghosted for 6 weeks, back to the text,
Back to where you started.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Got him. Then he replied, "Oh yeah, no, sorry, busy." It's like sure,
Yeah.
no problem.
Amazing.
You know how it is.
We have to imagine these guys like they're like everything just happening,
Mhm.
like big, like
Yeah.
he had a career, but this is like yo, everyone wanna.
Wants a piece
They
of it.
want you.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah,
how
yeah.
to say it in a nice way, but like everyone wants you. So I can't blame him.
Mhm.
And then I think 4 weeks ago, suddenly he WhatsApped me with a brand new concept. He's like, yo, man, check this. I think this would be perfect for us. And I listened. It's like, oh my God, that's exactly what we should do.
That's so awesome.
So like, yeah, so I'm saying like, don't give up and don't hide your shame. Because if I just said, oh, I'm not going to text him again because he didn't reply me, maybe nothing would have happened.
Right.
And if I would not be so vocal about this happening, other people might believe like, oh, this doesn't happen to big artists. No, it does happen to big artists all the time. Not even with artists, like with studio managers, with label people. I have A&Rs that they ignore me because, well, maybe, I don't know. No one should ignore anyone, but you know,
Yeah, it happens. You get busy and stuff.
yeah.
Dude, that's amazing that you're sharing that. I really
So-
think
Yeah.
that that's awesome.
But I think it's important for people to know.
yeah.
Because if, like, I'll give you another example. David Guetta,
Mm-hmm.
my friend.
Right.
It's like he's my brother. He helped me at my first signing with him. He did artist development for me. I learned about trust that way. I've been able to implement it into my company. I did so many songs with him.
yeah.
David Guetta, number one.
Yeah.
Bro, he's busy.
Mm-hmm.
He just got a kid. He just sold his catalog. He has like 5 number ones. He has residency in Ushuaia, residency in Ibiza. He has a Las Vegas residency. Like, he's everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You know, one thing that a lot of people forget, if you text someone on WhatsApp, you have WhatsApp?
Yeah.
Okay, so you text someone, you see 5 messages. Okay, so I text you, but in the same hour you get 5 more texts. You don't see my text.
No.
Right. You see the
Bro,
most.
I'm going to be on top of your phone. I will text you again in 1 hour. Like, I have messages to David. It's like, yo, he doesn't reply. 1 hour later, yo. 2 hours later, bro,
Dude.
FaceTime. Ignores my call. Okay. 3 hours later, yo,
Dude.
you need to do this. And this is like my brother.
That's your buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know? But I cannot blame him. This guy is,
Yeah.
first of all, the number 1 DJ in the world. 4th most listened to artist on all streaming services ever.
Wow. I didn't
Yeah,
know that.
Yeah.
like
me
7 in Spotify and 4 in the world.
How funny is that we were literally just talking about this the other day? Because
Yeah.
we have had people be like, not saying that we're in any sort of place where you or David Guetta is, but we got a lot of
You're
stuff
in a
going
good
on. We're,
place.
we're very busy. You know,
Yeah.
we're trying to build a lot of stuff, and we have friends that hit us up and people that want to work with us. And sometimes they get really frustrated because it's like you're not able to get back to them right away. And it's understandable, but it's also like the ones that really, really want to get a hold of us will continue to hit us up over and over again.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And they're not going to have any shame in it. And sometimes, yeah, it's a little annoying, but also at the same time, it's like, you know what? Hey, I respect the fact that they want to work with us. And that's vice versa how...
So this is exactly what I had when I was texting Dimension. I think the more I text him, the more he's going to respect the fact that me in my position is still texting him so much because I really want to work with him.
That's so
Yeah.
awesome.
So the moment he sees his WhatsApp and he sees 30 messages of me over 6 months, like, wow, this guy really wants to work with me. You know, like and
Yeah.
this is the thing. And someone taught me this. First, you have to swallow, and then you can spit.
Mm,
You know, you have to take all the shit that everyone gives you,
yeah.
and then at one point you can spit. But even when you're in a position to spit,
Mm-hmm.
it's tacky to spit. Don't
Yeah.
spit. Take more shit.
Yeah.
Show them that you really don't like. I'm working. I'm gonna do what I want to do. You tell me you don't want to work with me, sure, then I
Right.
respect that. But you say cool, I will take your cool and turn it into absolutely.
Right.
I will do it manually. You know, you have to take control. You have to take over control. No, but this is the way the world works, and this is the thing. No one tells you this is the way the world works.
Right.
People tell you like, oh no, it's okay. You're like, you know, you don't want to look stupid.
Right.
Everybody
Like,
says that. Everybody says
You
that.
don't want to look thirsty.
Yeah.
I'm thirsty. I'm thirsty for more success. I'm thirsty for better music. I want to know how Dimension gets his drums and bass so fat. Like
That's so
Yes,
awesome.
the
dude.
genre is drum and bass,
Yeah.
but like I listen to a lot of artists and like his stuff,
Mm-hmm.
it's like bass bass. Even if it's just the kick, the bass, and the snare, it's like, wow.
One thing I just have to do this just for my old
Yes.
2012, 2010 self when I first started
Mhm.
producing, because you were one of the first producers that I started listening to and studying as a producer, was No Beef. With
Yes.
you and Steve Aoki, right?
Yes.
So that track, it seems like you were one of the first, from my, because you're Dutch, obviously, so you
Mhm.
guys are automatically better at music than everybody. That's
Yep.
just like in your blood.
Yep.
It's on the radio.
Yeah.
We,
And
we have a radio history of dance music.
I
That's,
don't-
that's
yeah.
why Dutch producers are so dance music obsessed.
but you took a vocal, and to me, that was the first time I had ever heard like a vocal chop lead,
Yeah.
and it was a minimal drop, but it went so fucking hard, man.
808.
Dude, the No Beef drop is just a like, to me, I just had to say that. I know you feel the same too.
For sure.
It's
For
just
sure.
one of the most legendary songs that inspired me to produce music. And I don't know if it's like, I feel like you were like one of the first people to do like a vocal chop drop.
I think I was. I cannot remember a vocal chop record before. And like they are Dutch and they know Dutch history. There was bleepy music before me. There was a lot of people that think I invented bleeps. I did not invent bleeps. There was a lot of bleepy stuff going on in Dutch dance culture.
Mm-hmm.
We had something called bubbeling, which is like sped up dance hall and just the beats messing around and stuff. And then Hardwell did bleepy stuff. I did bleepy stuff.
Yeah.
Chucky did bleepy stuff. There was a lot of bleepy stuff going on. I did not invent that. I'm not saying I invented the vocal chop, but I think I was the first one that realized like, yo, this has the same effect, but it has more texture.
Yes.
So I was like, okay, damn, I'm gonna do that. And the funny thing is with No Beef, with Pandy Floor, Moomba was actually a 3 exhaust from FL, just the basic plugin with the compressor and reverb,
Nice.
and some slide notes. Yeah, I might have been one of the first ones to do that. But you know, the funny thing is now that you just mentioned No Beef, I think something like that would work again.
I think so too.
No Beef was not big EDM. It was more downplayed and not super aggressive beats. So I'm thinking like if you do a big this is the thing that was big at that time. It was anti-climax.
It was minimal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you did that now in tech house, it would work 100%.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I
agree.
I would definitely try something like that right now for tomorrow.
You should, because I got to give you your flowers on that. I mean, you and Steve both, but I just remember hearing that and just being like so amazed at how hard a drop can go with just 2 elements, really, right? I mean, it was just the vocal chop and the 808.
The 808 is big.
But dude, so sick. Sorry, I had to say that.
But it's funny because I didn't think about that until now, and like I really I just got like 6 ideas, like ooh.
Just from that,
yeah,
dude.
I love that.
Let's go, dude. I'm getting points on an Afrojack, dude. We just collabed.
I love it.
Just kidding.
I have
awesome.
the American way of producing,
I know,
ladies and gentlemen.
That's right. It's American.
Beat maker, producer.
Yeah.
So I got a personal question for you while we're talking about it. What is your beef with camels?
It doesn't say F-top camel.
It doesn't.
What?
No.
Have you ever addressed this before?
I know exactly what it is. I have the same in Take Over Control. There's a sample in there, but if I say what the sample is, I will get sued for so much
then let's not
publishing
say
and
it.
royalties.
Let's not say it.
gosh.
But that's
Okay.
great that they're
All right.
So you've heard people think that that's what it says, right?
Yeah.
Okay, then let's not share it and let's keep it a
No,
a
it's
mystery.
vocal chop, overcompressed, time stretched, pitched up or down.
Don't know. We'll figure it out.
And you know what's cool about that is we're sharing a secret with the audience now.
Ooh, yeah.
It's a nice full
Another
circle.
secret.
I
of
already
trusting.
did it like 10 times, like secretly, but you guys didn't realize. No,
I
but
think
you
that's
know, like
awesome.
this is the funny thing. Like if you look at the success of podcasts and viral podcast clips, it's because people are sharing information that's supposed to be secret.
Yeah.
So when you see on Instagram, it's like you know how it actually works with finance. You're like,
Right.
how do banks actually work?
Right.
How the music industry actually works.
Mm-hmm.
That's why podcasts are so successful. I don't look at podcasts like, oh, I'm very interested to hear about this guy's personal life. No, I'm interested to hear the thing I didn't know that will make the difference in my life.
Yeah.
Right.
That's why podcasts are so big.
Totally.
Afrojack reveals what effed up camo really says.
Yeah.
No beef really says.
The truth about the industry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we got tons of those.
Yeah, I
Well,
love
yeah,
it, man.
no, I could give you more, but like I decided to be nice. Like this is me politically correct. So
Yeah.
can you imagine how I was 10 years ago?
Oh, I would love to talk to you off.
Yeah.
Oh.
We'll get some drinks.
Yeah,
you know?
dude.
Thank you so much for coming on this show, man. It means a ton to us.
Yes.
Like we're going down into like the origins of where we started producing. You know, we had Flostradamus on, which is another like huge artist to me and Danny.
Full circle.
So it's really cool that we had you here. You know, we made it happen. I learned a ton. And yeah, thank you so much for coming on, man.
Yeah, definitely check out your academy. We could put the link down in the description too if you guys have
Yes,
anything. So
yes.
we can do
Wait,
that.
do you have any questions about it? Because you watched it, right? You watched
I
parts
haven't
of
watched it yet. He got it first
Yeah,
before
so
me, so I want to take a look at it personally. But yes,
Okay.
I do.
Yeah, I got a sneak peek. I watched the melody one. That one stuck out to me. I watched your DJ one, and I watched a little bit of the royalty one.
And actually, I'll give you one secret
Yeah.
that we didn't add yet, I think. Phil Tech House. We didn't add it? Okay. So I did like, of course, like you're recording for 40 hours plus.
Yeah.
And I did one where I started Tech House, and it was like 4 hours, 3 different ideas. I just failed.
Miserably? Or
Like
what?
miserably. It just didn't work. And then I said like, yeah, but we should also upload this because people need to see
Yes.
that it doesn't always work out.
Yes,
And then
dude.
later we did another Tech House, which did work out, I think. And then I said like, okay, with this second Tech House, I already started off like, okay, last time we did Tech House, it didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes you just have to give it time and come back at a later point and try again. But always try again. Just because it didn't work once doesn't mean it's not going to work the second time.
Yeah.
But that's why I wanted to also show that like everyone has this.
Yes.
Everyone. Skrillex has it.
Yeah.
When we first started YouTube, like we were very nervous about that, you know, whether is this a good idea? Are people going to judge us on this? Like, is this successful, you know? And we just put it out. We just put it out, and sometimes we failed, and sometimes we talk about how the idea is not really a good idea, but this is what happens, you know.
Right.
So it's so awesome hearing that from you too, man.
Yeah.
You can always make a second channel for the more riskier videos if you want to protect your algorithm.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing for artists. Like we're doing side projects now.
Yeah.
True.
To how you say, protect our brand from being associated with less qualitative content.
Ooh.
Oh God.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I'm social media. I'm completely opposite. I will like, post everything, but I honestly think that if you do something risky or you do something crazy, just share it, and people are not gonna care if it's under Spotify as Afrojack or Afrojack 2 or
Yeah.
Random Plant Jack. Like, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter. The only thing though that does stay important, you have to push it out. You have to send it to your friends, to your brother, to your sister, to anyone you can. Even you go on the street and you just play it to people and get reactions.
Yeah.
Get feedback, get better. Push, 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 push.
Great
I
advice.
keep going back to
Yes.
trying to
Yeah.
help people.
It's amazing advice, man. I learned a ton. I'm going to be diving into that whole masterclass this weekend. I'm
Yes.
very excited. I didn't know
We'll
it was
get you
33
some feedback
hours.
too if
Yeah.
you want.
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Please.
Definitely.
And we'll give you some more packs, man.
Yes.
Give me
Love
the
to
drum and
have you
bass.
come back too
Give me the drum and
sometimes.
bass.
Well, we'll be in touch too, but you know, obviously now
Yeah.
we've met in person, so we're looking forward to chatting with you and,
Cool.
and continuing our friendship. So
Thank
thank you
Awesome,
guys
man.
so much. Thank you. Go
Come
get
to
some
the show
food.
tomorrow.
Oh, yes. I'm
Yeah.
down.
If you have time, come.
Yeah.
I'm totally down.
Yes. To the Palladium.
Yes.
Yes.
Let's do it. That would be
Oh.
so much fun.
Like the
Thank
video,
you.
subscribe. We're out.
Like.